Hello, hello. Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's training. I am super excited to dive in today and talk about our inner work and why it's your superpower. It is a massive, powerful tool that you have in your life. And if you're not yet reaping the rewards from it, I'm going to share with you today how you can do that. So, one of the greatest things that I would love for you to get out of today is just that doing the inner work, like it sometimes sounds scary, sometimes it seems like it's a lot of work, it's cold work, like why would we want to do it, Marissa? But just how easy it can be, how uplifting it can be. And I'm not gonna just sugarcoat it and say that it's all beautiful and that it's all easy, because it isn't. Like, we have to shine light on areas that we might not want to shine the light on before we can heal them. But the beauty of it is that we can do most of it in an easy, uplifting, and beautiful way and feel these rapid changes, great results in our life because of it. I'm so excited to dive in with you guys today. So let's get started. Let's just dive in. And if you're joining us live today, just go ahead and pop into the comments, pop your name in the comments, let us know where you're tuning in from. And if you're on the replay, just a huge shout out to you guys. I know so many of you in here in the Rise group watch the replays, and so we just want to acknowledge you as well. Just because you're not showing up live does not mean that you're not getting the best out of this. The energy is still the same. You're still reaping the rewards from all of these trainings. So we love you, we love you, we love you. And I also just want to give a huge, big, warm welcome to our new members in the group. I'm really excited to have you here. We all are. This is such a beautiful and amazing community of like-minded souls that have all come together to really uplift and shift and, really go to the next level. But we do it in a way that is fun, uplifting, and we do it together. And that's the main part, is that we connect. And I love nothing more than bringing people together, and to be able to do that online in this environment now. I just think it's so cool. It is so, so cool. All right, so let us dive into the training today. If you are already doing some kind of inner work, and maybe you've dipped your toes in, maybe you're heavy, in something at the moment, just let us know. Shoot me a DM. Let me know, what are you guys doing? I'm so interested to hear where you're at, what your experience has been to date, and so that I know too, like, what trainings are really going to serve you in here. And I just always love hearing from you guys, just full stop. Okay, so your superpower, your inner work is your superpower. And it really is. And sometimes the changes that happen when we go within and do this type of work can feel like they're unseen. Like, it can feel like nothing's happening until bam, like there's a drastic, beautiful, and positive momentum that comes in your life, new ideas that happen. We're going to dive into this, like what actually happens when we do our inner work. But first, let's talk about, what even is it? What even is that inner work? We hear this. We hear we need to do shadow work. We need to do this kind of work. And it just all sounds like actually just a lot of work, Marissa. So what even is inner work? So inner work is all about diving inward. And I have focus on this in here because this is where personally I have seen, as a transformational holistic coach and holistic coach for the last almost 16 years, the places that I have seen the most shift, the most change in people have been when we go within and when we really do this inner work, diving inward, right? And so what do we do? So within the program, and even in these trainings, sometimes I have you guys go inward and listen to what is being said. So what are your thoughts saying? What types of beliefs are you leaning into? We look at our conditioning. We look at how we've been conditioned from birth and what that looks like for us and how that has led us down the path that we have gone down. And quite a few people, when they come into this group or they come into the program, they say, it's so weird, but it feels like I'm not even living my own life. Like, it feels like I somehow ended up here and I don't even know how it happened. And that's okay, because normally it's just because of childhood experiences, beliefs we've adopted when we're younger, and just how that all plays out and pans out over the span of our life. And so the beauty of it is, if you've never heard of this before and you're just like, whoa, but I kind of feel that way, tell me more. It's great that you've landed here today, because this could be the spark. This could be the opening to something amazing and beautiful for you. So inner work is about diving inward. It's about really listening and understanding what is happening with our thoughts, with our feelings, our emotions, our beliefs, and our belief systems. And beneath belief systems can be paradigms, right? So it's not just a thought, a belief. It can be beliefs, belief systems, and then paradigms. So imagine that all of this has been created from when we were younger, and it kind of makes us play out our life in a certain way unless it's changed, or unless we're conscious of it and we can make shifts. So we speak with ourselves, we listen to our inner dialogue. You guys know we've talked about inner critic in here. We've talked, there's so many things that come up in our thoughts daily that can kind of hold us back and crush us, as like the mean girl or the ego, or however you want to call it. We call it the conditioned self in here. And so we begin this dialogue, right? And as you begin this dialogue with yourself, like really understanding where this part of you is coming from, and then, doing what you can do through these tools and techniques to really shift and realign with what it is that you actually want, we start to kind of see ourselves being like somewhat stripped away, because we kind of like strip away the stuff that's not serving us, and then we sort of use these building blocks to like build ourselves back up. And that's where we can have like complete identity shifts. We can have more confidence, more courage. I'm going to get into all of that in a minute. But basically, what is it, this inner work? It is this inner and endless dance, right, between our inner world and our outer world. And it's this inner knowing of how we're feeling, how we're showing up, and really bringing awareness and bringing light to what is, so that it can be changed and shifted if it needs to. So it often involves looking at parts of ourselves that maybe we don't really want to look at, right? Like, that might be parts of us that have been either forgotten. Sometimes as children, we have these big dreams and ambitions, and we have these huge visions, and oftentimes they kind of get shut down. It could be by other people around us who are heavily in their conditioned self, and we're just like in our authentic self as children, and we get that kind of, it's shut down a little bit. Or it could be that we hide out, we're hiding parts of ourselves, especially as we become adults and maybe things get a little more serious. We can hide some of those parts of ourselves that are a little more free and fun. We can feel bad for having fun and feeling free. And then welcoming back in these parts of you that have been lost along the way, so that you can be whole and happy and integrated and strong and aware and free and mindful all at the same time, and just to really take the reins, right, of your own life, of your own destiny, and keep you moving forward toward your big vision, or just toward living a lifestyle that is aligned with you. So we can do inner child work. We do a lot of that inside the program, and oftentimes in the training, I'll just pop up and do some kind of healing session or meditation, some kind of guided imagery that takes you back to your childhood, where we can heal some of these circumstances. So some of us have trauma, but instead of labeling it, because at the time we can label it, but instead of labeling it, like for the broader perspective, we can just say, it's looking at our inner child and some of those hurts and pains and, dislodgement that happens when we're younger, and then really bringing awareness to it, healing it, so that we can now be free as adults, and we're not so tied to some of these circumstances and events that really happened a very long time ago that we still might be holding on to in our body. So it involves finding those feelings, those beliefs, those hurts, those memories, sometimes and oftentimes that are not serving you, and healing them. And so we do this through the psychotherapy coaching, and there are so many different methods like we can do inside the program. But in here, what I tend to do with you guys is just these beautiful, like, guided imageries that oftentimes you're healing and you don't even know. So this is what I mean by it can be fun, it can be playful, and you can be up leveling and not even kind of realize. And that's what I really love to do in these trainings. So sometimes, obviously, it can be uncomfortable to look at parts of you that you don't want to see, right? Like, I know for myself, when after I had both babies, I had like some feelings and emotions that I'd never felt before. Like, I had never felt literally rage in my body until I had children. I was like, whoa, where did that even come from? Like, some of these emotions that I was feeling, some of them were tied to not sleeping. Some of them were just because I was going through such a big life transition of becoming a mother. And there was so much at stake here that I was feeling things like from the past, from a long time ago. So why would we want to do stuff that doesn't feel good to us? Like, why would I want to look at that anger? Why would I want to look at that rage? And not that it was ever projected outward. For some people it is, but for me, I could feel it internally. And I was like, this doesn't feel right. Like, I want to look at this. And because of my experience over the last 12 years, I've been diving really deep into this work and doing a lot of this. I wanted to do it. But for like at the offset, why would you want to look at this stuff that doesn't feel good? Like, I would just put it under the carpet for another day, right? And so as we take, like, why do we want to go through it all is the question. And as we take these steps in our awareness, so as we become more aware of what we're feeling, more aware of our thoughts, more aware of our emotions, more aware of our beliefs and what is lying underneath some of these emotions, because we can feel emotions and think, sort of project it outwards and think that it's someone else or it's an external circumstance. And actually, it can be a trigger within us from something that's happened a long time ago. And so we really want to shine light. And as we take these steps to shine this light, we release what needs to go. And so the beautiful part of this, of like showing up and doing the inner work, is that you get to reclaim more parts of you that have been lost along the way. So what happens is, as kids, if we go through circumstances, we might shrink to keep us safe. It could be even just to keep us physically safe as children. Our parents are often telling us, don't do that, that will happen to you. Don't do that, that will happen to you. And like, well, they kind of have to bring awareness for us so that we don't like do something crazy when we're kids. But then these patterns start playing out all the way into adulthood. And then all of a sudden we find ourselves shrinking and feeling like, oh, don't do that. Oh, don't do that. And a lot of fear sets in. So what can happen is other parts of us that are fearless and fun and, you know, full of excitement and happiness can get sort of just put aside in adulthood. And so the beauty of us doing our inner work, and go ahead and pop into the comments if you're popping in. Hello, nice to see you. If you're popping in today and you're just catching me live, or even if you're on the replay, just put into the comments, have you ever found yourself doing something, or like some emotion comes up and you're like, whoa, what even was that? Or you say something, or you do something, or you lash out, or you just feel a certain way and you're like, wow, where did that even come from? You just kind of shove it back down. Put your hand up in the comments, or reach out, write a comment or reach out to me and share this with me, because for me, like all my life, pretty much, I had been doing that. And I think it's just a pattern that I followed from watching adults do it, right? From when I was a kid. So the most beautiful things that happen is that when we do take these steps in our awareness and shining light, we get to reclaim all these beautiful parts of us that we never really played in before. Maybe since we were kids, we hadn't played in. So it makes us more connected internally. It helps us to feel the feelings, that we feel, and not just put them aside for another day. It makes us soften toward ourselves and toward others. We're not as hard or harsh on ourselves anymore, thank goodness, or others. We build our psychological and our spiritual muscles. So we build our authentic self muscles, is what we often say in here. And my program in here is rejuvenate, return to you. And so that's what it is really all about, like taking down the structure of stuff and then rebuilding it to make you living and breathing like complete, and integrated and whole, and life is just so much more fun. But let's talk about that in a minute. So no matter how crappy it might feel at the time, sometimes to look at these things, our energy strengthens, right? Like your soul strengthens. You become driven by courage and faith instead of fear and not feeling confident and courageous. You begin to show up in courage. You live with authenticity. You live in integrity, even more in integrity than I know you do already. You become aligned with your dreams. You might start to have visions again of what life might look like or what you might dream it to be, and you're able to fully feel the effect of being alive on this earth. Isn't that a beautiful thing? We talk about being present. We talk about wanting to be more present, mindful. All of these words are, you hear these all the time. So what really is that? Well, to be able to fully feel alive and feel your life, right? And so no matter how things are turning out at the time, you just kind of gain this resilience too. Like you just know, you have a deeper knowing that life is unfolding as it should be. So you become more resilient. You're able then to tolerate more discomfort. Who in here has been doing some of this work and is already feeling these benefits? If you're watching this and you have already been doing work in here and you're feeling some of the benefits, go ahead and pop it into the comments so that others can see and just see like where you're at on your journey as well. So we're able to tolerate more discomfort. We challenge our own beliefs. So we challenge not only the belief systems of others, which I know we're all really good at, but we challenge our own beliefs. Is this belief empowering me? We have power over our beliefs, right? Which is so beautiful. We examine our attachments and detachments to people, to things and circumstances. Other people's opinions tend to matter less and less and less the more we do this work, because we gain this inner power, this inner peace, if you will. And we're able to stay the course longer. And this is a biggie, because the conditioned self loves procrastination, loves perfectionism, loves to stall you and say, you can't do that thing because of A, B, and C. So when we're more aligned, more in our authentic self, we become more courageous, more confident, and we're just able to stay the course longer. So we're no longer like so easily veered off the road to a stop. We might veer off the road with a flat tire and just change it and keep going. It doesn't tend to stop us as much in our tracks. And how many of you guys have actually maybe started something in your life that you really wanted to do and then stopped because of something that happened, or like you didn't have the belief that you could do it, or something happened and you like just shrink back down and you're like, I'll do it another day, right? How many of us have done that in our life, where we step out, we're going to do something big and courageous and great, and then it doesn't last for very long, or we stop quite quickly. And so the rewards, what are the rewards of really doing our inner work? Well, this we're going to do in our workshop next week. So we start on the 13th, next Monday, and we go through every day until Friday. So we're going for 5 days. It's about a 45-minute session every single day, and we're diving deep. So how to turn our pain into power, right? How to dissolve old beliefs, old belief systems about ourselves, about our health, about our dreams, about our desires, how to really make that shift, right? Understand the beliefs, where they came from, how to make that shift, how to turn emotions, including anger and rage and fear and all these things, into like really focused, protective and beautiful energy that can propel you forward. How to soften feelings, so softening sadness into a more of a flow state, We can melt conflicts that are happening in your life and turn those into connection, whether they're conflicts, you know, in the inner world or conflicts with other people in the outer world. Judgment, self-judgment, especially. I think we do a whole day on inner critic. Judgments into compassion. So that's, you know, external judgments plus these inner judgments that we have as well. And for me, I don't even know if there's anything more rewarding in terms of what we do inside this bubble than doing some of this work where we shed these layers, you know, where we really remove what is non-serving. And there's nothing more exciting and enlivening than watching people and even myself, like being the co-creator of my own life and bringing in and manifesting and creating what I want in my life, and then watching other people do that as well. I don't think there's anything greater than that, like within our bubble of what happens in here. Like deliberately and just intentionally freeing ourselves from our conditioning. So gaining mastery as well. We talk a lot about biohacks and like gaining mastery over our biology, over our bodies, so that our bodies are actually helping us to move into better states and feelings. Yeah, and then expanding us into all we can be. So, you know, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, we dive into all of these. So we're really showing up as our best self in this lifetime, in our real, true, authentic self. And that I just don't think there's any other better feeling than that. Like the knowing that you're showing up so whole and so free and so happy in this life. And I'm not saying that it's all easy, and I'm not saying that things don't happen. You know, I don't always have a great big smile on my face, but I don't think there's anything more beautiful than actually doing the unveiling, like the unraveling, and then building it all back up again with your own building blocks. So beautiful. So with that being said, we have our workshop starting on Monday. So this is a huge, big invitation to you. Hi, Danuka. How are you? I'm so, so happy to see you, beautiful girl. And so the workshop starts on Monday, the 13th. I could not be more excited for this. I feel like it has been such a big year and there is so much energy brewing for this workshop. We're going to be doing so much unraveling just in the 5 days and building back these building blocks that we've been talking about. So please join us. I know you're going to love it. I don't want you guys to wait until 2022 to start 2022. I want you to feel ready, engaged, to have your big vision in place, to know the steps that you're taking to get to where you want to be, and to feel that aliveness from now, because we are going into 2022 with you guys have such beautiful visions and amazing goals and dreams for 2022, and we want to make sure that we hit all of them. So I will pop the link to the workshop below. I cannot wait to see you guys. I love you all so, so, so much. You're just the greatest community in here. It is absolutely amazing. And I just can't wait to see you and spend next week with you. Yay. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.